He's a murderer. I'm not going down with him. Those were the exact words that came out of Andrea Johnson's mouth. Initially, when Advocate Sello pressed Andrea Johnson about her relationship with General Khan, she tried to dodge the question by trying to play a very dumb trick, but was instantly crushed with evidence. At that point, she realized she had nowhere left to hide. She made one of the biggest confessions, and at this point, both she and the General must be arrested and put to jail. Dear viewers, welcome back to today's podcast. These two were using their power and connections to run the police service and IDAC as their own personal playground. If you hate corruption as much as I do, please hit that like button and share this video with everyone so we can expose this Romeo and Juliet. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and type, "Jail them now. Let's stand together and fight this corruption." Saifo, roll the clip.
At paragraph 16, you do state that you know Major General Khan as a general based at Khan Intelligence Head Office. Before I became the investigating director in March, I engaged with him in meetings with other stakeholders. So we are now before you joined IDAC. Did you have any other relationship besides that you describe at paragraph 16 with General Khan, personal or otherwise?
I had gotten to know him quite well. At a stage, we engaged often on all kinds of issues that didn't necessarily relate to work. He was very affable, and I got along with him. So I would talk to him as well outside of meetings. It wasn't confined to meetings.
That's an important distinction to draw, because your paragraph 16 seems to suggest that your engagements with him prior to 2022 were in meetings and with other stakeholders only. It's too restrictive what's said in 16 regard being head to your response now.
And we can add it.
No, the record, it's there on record. So I say, we clarified that you had this professional relationship as you describe in 16, but you also had a personal relationship.
Yes, I did.
You say you then you have a specific timeline to it. Say before I became investigating director in March 2022. Let's get past March 2022. The relationship, as you have now clarified, with General Khan, did it change? What's the relevance of using that marker, March 22, when you became ID, to speaking to the relationship you have with General Khan? It suggests, as I read it, that it drastically changed from March 2022. Am I reading it correctly? And yet, I take into consideration what you say at your paragraph 19. You say you have had limited contact with him and have had no contact with him approximately the past year and a half. It's now 2026, but your cutoff date there is March 22. I don't know. Where were you on April 2022 until a year and a half before 2026? So far as your relationship is concerned. Thanks.
So if we're taking it from March 2022, I continue to talk to General Khan.
Yes.
It is only late in 2024 when this issue of Mr. Maré arose, because Mr. Maré came to see me personally. It had been a very painful engagement. And it was then that I raised the issue with him, and I slowly started to withdraw. I didn't stop talking to him completely, but if I have to cast my mind back, that's why I say past year and a half, which would have been from very early 2025.
Okay. And you say that in 2024, after you met Mr. Maré, you started to withdraw. I take it from a closer relationship with General Khan.
Yes.
If I may, why? What is the relevance of that matter to the change in your relationship with General Khan?
Here I get to engage a victim who's lost his father and his brother in a very violent way.
Yes.
It is very difficult, commissioners, when you are sitting with a child who is now parentless and brotherless. He is raw of emotion sitting in front of you. But it's not just the emotion. It is the complaint about the police not doing their work. And he sat there hoping that we were able to help him. And it was unfortunate. It is not in our mandate. But it touched me in a different way, in a very humane way. And it made what he was saying more real. I wasn't reading this in papers. I wasn't hearing stories. I was hearing from a child. Well, he's a young man, but I was hearing this from a child. And there is no way when you have that engagement that you are able to just shut it down and, okay, this is what you go and do, and then you just carry on. It had an impact. And I think it was for those reasons. It really had a humane impact that I was unable to assist him. And the allegation he made was very serious. And so he was accompanied by a friend, and I told him and the friend they would definitely have to take this up with the head of detectives at the time.
So then I understand, just to wrap up then, your relationship with General Khan was adversely influenced by the allegations made to you as regards his alleged involvement by Mr. Maré. That's what altered the course of your relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he was explicit about where he felt Mr. Khan was involved and persons he was involved with. It's names I'm prepared to write, but he made very pertinent referrals.
Yes. And do you know whether he took up your advice, just as a matter of interest? I think you said you suggested that he engaged SAPS organized crime Gauteng.
Yes, there was a time when he did make contact with me again to indicate that the detectives had allocated a new team.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it ended up being to his satisfaction, as I am aware that there haven't been arrests made on the matter. But I am aware, Commissioner Khumalo, that he did follow up that, and I'm aware that they actually had a proper engagement with him. I'm not sure where that engagement is now, given there's no arrests in the matter.
Understood. And lastly, at your paragraph 20, this... in response to
maybe before you do 20, just so I make sure I understand, that paragraph 16 and following, where you say you continue to speak to General Khan after March 2022, does that mean you socialized with him? What does that mean? Because you could be talking about work, you could be talking about family, friends, you could be meeting for lunch. What exactly do you mean when you say you continue to talk to him outside of meetings?
So we would chat on WhatsApp, or we would talk to one another if we saw one another, but we didn't socialize in the word socialize, so we didn't go to lunch, visit one another, etc.
But you had non-work related interactions.
Non-work related
Thank
interactions.
you.
Yes.
I might be mistaken, but I think at some point we had evidence that you attended his 50th or 55th birthday party.
That is
Was it after this date?
No, sir.
When was that?
Oh, I speak under correction. I don't know when he turned 50. It might have been in 2020 or 2019. But it was, he invited my husband who worked at Crime Intelligence. And when we got there, most people who had been invited with their partners or spouses. And we attended the birthday, attended the dinner. We probably were the most ungracious guests because it was very busy. And as soon as we had dinner, I said to my husband, can we leave? And we didn't even greet the host. We had left, but we did attend it. My husband having been invited, and I attended.
Commissioner Baloyi just engaged you on whether or not an accused person is arrested or someone to court. You say it's not your final decision. It's not yours.
It
lies somewhere else within IDAC.
It lies with that team.
So where that team has made that decision, you have no power to overturn it as the ID. Is that? I just need to understand what your power is relative to that decision taken by investigators. Do you have any powers at all?
We haven't exercised powers to overturn. we've made suggestions, and almost invariably many of those suggestions have been taken on board. So, as an example, Advocate Sello, the team might feel strongly about an arrest. And in that engagement, the ID says, the reasons you provide just don't make sense for why a warrant of arrest, a subpoena should be issued. They then take that on board, and I found that they do exercise it. So they do listen when it makes sense that the proposed way they want it was not going to work.
You talk about you haven't exercised the power. I am still trying to locate the power. Do you have that power as a matter of fact in law, or you don't?
No, I don't.
Whether you have exercised it or not is neither here nor there for the moment. Do you understand yourself to have such a power?
No. It is a power of engagement. What I'm saying is I engage them and I make suggestions. I cannot take the decision for them. I can make a suggestion, not a warrant, a subpoena.
No, I get confused now just when I thought I got it. You don't take a decision for them. They have taken a decision. My question is, do you have the power to override that decision? It's either you have it, you don't, and I'll move on.
I haven't exercised such a power to override. I have to check if I have such a power to override.
Advocate Johnson, I'm hungry too, it's lunch. You can only exercise it if you have it.
Yes.
But you are not answering the first question. Do you understand yourself to have it or not to have it at all, that power?
I don't have a power to override them.
Okay.
From what I understand.
All right. Okay. Then I think that takes care of paragraphs 2 and 3. We deal with paragraph 2.5 in the subpoena, which reads thus: required you to address, quote, allegations concerning the existence of a quote-unquote Khan IDAC cabal in SAPS and your role pursuant thereto, as made by Mr. Thulani Shongwe during his evidence at the Commission on the 30th of June 2026, close quote. You deal with that from your paragraph 15. At page 6 of your supplementary statement.
At IDAC cabal in SAPS, I also have no knowledge of a Khan IDAC.
Your supplementary statement.
At paragraph 2.5, I have no knowledge of the existence of a Khan IDAC cabal in SAPS. I also have no knowledge of a Khan IDAC cabal within the IDAC. It follows that if such a cabal exists, I am not party to it. I have not authorized, encouraged, or facilitated its existence, nor have I benefited from any unlawful association involving General Khan, IDAC, SAPS officials, or any other person. To the extent that Mr. Thulani Shongwe's evidence suggests otherwise, I deny that suggestion.
Thank you. That will then take us to, I think your answer is straightforward and clear. Paragraph 2.6 of the subpoena, which reads thus, I quote, your relationship with Major General Khan and allegations that you disclosed to General Khan and SAPS docket relating to an ongoing criminal investigation against him, close quote. You deal with that paragraph 2.6 starting from your paragraph 16 at page 7. If you could turn to that, please.
At paragraph 2.6, I know Major General Khan as a general based at Crime Intelligence Head Office. Before I became the investigating director in March 2022, I engaged with him in meetings with other stakeholders, attended net joints or other SAPS meetings at which he was present and to which I had been invited by relevant component heads, deputy national commissioners or divisional commissioners. In late 2024, media reports emerged concerning General Khan's alleged involvement with persons allegedly linked to the Maré murders. Those reports concerned me because I had previously met with one of the Maré sons who wanted to know whether IDAC could assist with the investigation. I informed him that IDAC could not assist, but explained how he could escalate his concerns about the investigation to SAPS management. At that stage, the concerns of the Maré son referred to above related to how SAPS organized crime Gauteng was dealing with the matter. 18. I later encountered General Khan at a Public Service Commission or Department of Public Service and Administration workshop. I asked to speak to him and told him that the media reports about his alleged involvement with persons linked to the Maré murders were concerning. I further stated that if evidence of criminality by him were brought to IDAC, it would be dealt with in accordance with the law. 19. After the engagement referred to above, I had very limited contact with General Khan, and I've had no contact with him for approximately the past year and a half. The allegation referred to above is also vague and unsupported by particulars. No particulars have been provided as to who made the allegations, which docket is implicated, when or where the alleged disclosure occurred, how the docket was allegedly disclosed, or what information was allegedly conveyed. This is a serious allegation to make against a person holding as high a position of responsibility as I do, so that Chair, would justifiably have expected particularity to accompany the allegations for any meaningful engagement with them. Should I be required to answer questions arising from this affidavit or any other matters in respect of which it is determined that I may assist the Commission, I am willing to make myself available, subject to reasonable notice, access to sufficient evidential material to which I am required to respond, and my rights to legal representation. That ends the affidavit.
Thank you. Just to
delete the not, yes.
After
My cannot not. It's either my cannot or it is not. Thank you, Commissioner. I cannot discuss the evidence that will be led when the trial of Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused gets underway, or the merits of the criminal case against them. The sub judice rule precludes me from doing so. Be that as it may, I may indicate that there was a series of matters referred to IDAC in terms of the Section 27/1, Mr. Adams. When the whole picture is presented, they include the following. 25(1). The manipulation of recruitment processes and appointment of persons without suitable qualifications into senior strategic posts in the criminal intelligence unit. 25(2), the bypassing of vetting processes, which, among others, manifested itself in the failure to apply for and get top secret clearances where required. A standard requirement for crime intelligence unit personnel, especially senior appointments. And at 25.3, the appointments of persons not suitably qualified and or experienced as a form of gratification for their collusion later in the looting of state funds, for example, the purchase of properties. 26. As I indicate somewhere towards the end of this affidavit, I intend to apply for leave to testify before this commission. If leave to do so is granted, I will get an opportunity to expand on the issues to which reference is made above. State capture is a type of systemic political corruption in which private interests significantly influence a state's decision-making processes to advantage and or benefit of certain individuals. 27. When one looks at all the cases referred to IDAC by Mr. Adams, they depict the capture of systems and processes for private interests by the head of CI and other senior managers. This too is an issue I intend to testify about should I be granted leave to. 28. The picture that has emerged is that the appointment and installation of certain persons in certain positions within the Crime Intelligence Unit, CIU, by Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused persons help them strategically to access funding without following proper processes. This is because their token appointments would not stop them from their unlawful acts.
Sorry, you refer to persons in the plural. The picture that has emerged is that the appointment and installation of certain persons in certain positions, and it goes on. The only complaint I'm aware of, I may be mistaken, is a complaint about the appointment of Brigadier Mukwele. Are there any other appointments in respect of which there are complaints?
So the appointments are in terms of other persons that are not in that specific leg of investigation.
So there are other names besides Brigadier Mukwele?
Yes, but not in that specific leg, but arising out of the complaint by Mr. Adams.
Sorry, maybe you're missing the chair's question. Was there a referral to IDAC in respect of other people or other positions?
When we got the referral from Mr. Adams, and it was given to the prosecutors together with those dockets, they were able to identify that there are issues relating to vetting and appointments. The appointment of Brigadier Mukwele was one of them, but I think there is one other matter where the issue of an appointment is also part of the complaint, part of the investigation that was dealt with.
You're still not answering, Advocate Johnson. Was there a referral to IDAC in respect of other positions other than Ms. Mukwele or Brigadier Mukwele?
Not out of this, no.
So to the extent that IDAC went and looked at other people who were quote-unquote strategically placed, it's IDAC that decided to do that. There was no referral saying there are people who are strategically placed within crime intelligence. Investigate how they were placed there.
Commissioner Kumalo, to explain perhaps as follows, I don't know whether I'm using it's not a complaint about an appointment, as in a new appointment. Perhaps it is a complaint about the placement of a person in a position that arose out of the non-compliance with the vetting positions. So it's not, the only complaint about an actual appointment was the Mukwele, that the allegation is she should not have been appointed.
So then there is no complaint to IDAC about appointment and installation of certain persons, plural.
No, it is a person.
Person.
I correct myself, thank you.
And that person is Brigadier Mukwele?
That was the only one that I am aware of that was referred to as an appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Please proceed. And I take it you were invited to that birthday party because you already had a personal relationship with him?
Yes, he knew both my husband and I. Yes, he knew me as well.
Okay. Lastly, I wanted to deal with paragraph 20. Recall that paragraph 2.6 of the subpoena required you to speak to your relationship with Major General Khan generally, and specifically address the allegations that you disclosed to him an SAPS docket relating to an ongoing criminal investigation against him. Now, it says an ongoing criminal investigation. I read one investigation. Your response is at paragraph 20, the allegation referred to above is also vague and unsupported by particulars. No particulars have been provided as to who made the allegation, which docket is implicated, when or where the alleged disclosures took place, how the docket was allegedly disclosed, and so on. Say this is a serious allegation against you. Neither the date of this statement, you could not respond particularly to the allegation that you had disclosed the docket to him. The subpoena speaks of a docket. Your answer seems to suggest that you are not able to respond to paragraph 2.6 because you haven't been given the details of the docket, which would suggest that you are not in a position to do so because there may very well be more than one docket. Is that where we land?
No.
Okay.
For me, your relationship and allegations that you disclosed to General Khan a SAPS docket relating to an ongoing criminal investigation, I was seeking the details of this docket and who made the allegation, because on the 10th, I didn't have that.
My apologies against General Khan himself.
Yes.
That is the important writer. So the allegation is about you disclosing a docket to General Khan regarding an investigation into General Khan's conduct. That's how precise it is. So your answer, when you say no particulars have been provided, I'm not clear what particulars, you say which docket is implicated, then it leaves with me the impression that there may be more than one docket implicated. You just want clarity as to which docket is implicated, where you disclosed to General Khan a docket relating to ongoing investigations against him. I'm struggling with your response at 20, and I would like you to clarify perhaps. Because the subpoena seems to suggest one docket.
Yes.
Your answer seems to suggest I can't pinpoint the docket because you don't give me the details of which docket is implicated, implying there may potentially be more than one.
On a point of correction,
Yes.
there isn't more than one.
Okay.
And it became, and at the time, I didn't recall disclosing a docket.
Yes.
When the evidence is then presented and witnesses testify, I'm replying to this affidavit on the 10th, and then people are testifying on the 10th. And it is only then I realize what is being referred to. And hence the third affidavit that was then made, because I now have more details about the docket that is being alleged to have been disclosed.
So some effect of that is, had the witness not testified, you would still have not responded to the allegation that you handed a docket over. You wouldn't recall. I'm trying to understand, how does the testimony of the witnesses who appeared here on that Friday trigger your memory regarding a disclosure of a docket? You either know you did or you have never in your entire life. Where exactly were you on the 10th when you prepared the statement?
We were in consultations with
in your headspace. Sorry. Had you ever disclosed a docket such as described at 2.6 or never at all?
That is why I needed my memory to be jogged.
Okay.
And then it will take us into those aspects that we want to touch on in 3. And not because I don't want to...
In statement 3.
Statement 3.
Okay. But I think you have taken us up to your paragraph 21. I'm clarified. Thanks for that clarification, Chair. That would bring us to the end of the second statement. And as usual, we have encroached on your lunch hour.